Hey, welcome to Leaving Crazy Town with Finn and Sarah. We're on location in Tennessee. We're here with our guest, Amanda. What are we going to talk about today, Sarah?
Well,
wait. I'm going to interrupt because we forget this every single video. Subscribe, like, share.
Yes.
Make some comments in the comment section below.
We love hearing your comments. We love hearing your feedback. We're welcoming Amanda. We're down in Crossville, Tennessee today. And we're going to do an episode on something that everybody can relate to, which is our crazy thinking.
Not me, of course.
Never.
What are ways you think crazy stuff, Miss Amanda?
Oh, let me say one more thing, and I'm sorry I'm interrupting, as usual. This is
always
me interrupting. I always interrupt you. But what I want to say is the goal to get out of our crazy thinking is getting some spaciousness around our thinking. The problem with our thinking is, first of all, we believe it. We think it, we either or it, black and white it.
Shame it.
We shame it. We live in fantasy land and we don't stick with like reality. So we're going to talk about a couple of things today. We're going to talk about the both and, or as Amanda calls it, the and both. And we're going to talk about sticking to the facts. So we're going to give some examples, some tools. We're going to have a little conversation about it.
And okay, again, I'm always going to point out, let the feelings flow.
Let the feelings flow and
Finn take it away, Amanda.
Go ahead. Take it.
Wait, in what way are you crazy?
Yeah, in what way? What would be a way you could describe your thinking that you're going to give an example of?
Well, I feel kind of creepy because I love this book and I wanted to talk about chapter 13. And I thought it's a little bit too much to be quoting the book when the author is sitting right next to me.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's called Crazy. Let's see. One psychologist, recovery from codependency and addiction. And Sarah is the author. And there's a lot of Sarah stories in here. It's fun read.
But the area that when I get really, really stuck is because I am locked into only my narrative, only my perspective. Yes. And then I have to create narratives in my head to reinforce either they're right and I'm wrong, either I'm the villain or the hero. And then I lie to myself. I'm ignoring the facts. Yep. I'm not acknowledging the and both.
Yes.
There can be multiple realities.
Yes.
Most often there are multiple realities.
My ego comes into play. I get defensive. Communication shuts down. Connection shuts down. Relationship shuts down because I am locked into a either or instead of a both and.
Yeah, and we sometimes have to be right. All right, so the example you were going to give, which I thought was great, was about this relationship with your uncle. Yes. And you want to just say that as an example, like how do you see both and rather than either or?
Well, I've been doing a lot of grief work that has been transformative because you have to acknowledge the and both. My uncle was in recovery for over 14 years and had relapsed, and the last couple years were kind of negative.
Right.
And trying to process the grief and the loss, I just got angry. I was just seeing all the negative. And I was stuck, really stuck.
Angry with him.
And it was showing up with other people that I was in contact with when I would start seeing the red flags of possible relapse. Cutting people off that really hadn't even done anything because I was still being affected by the loss. And I had to look at the and both,
Yes.
I would block out any good memories that I had of him because I had to keep the anger going as a form of protection.
So you wouldn't feel
the sadness, the grief. And I was also bringing it into current other relationships. A lot of it was more self-protection,
from the feelings.
That I don't want to get attached to somebody that may not be around in 2 years.
We don't want to have to go through more grief, people.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. But let me just kind of clarify, too, for the audience, is the both and in this situation is, so Amanda's talking about being focused on all these negative aspects of her uncle and being angry with him and he relapsed and all the things he didn't do. And the freedom she's starting to get around it, doing the grief work, and we'll recommend a certain grief book too, is that she's remembering all these positive things about him. And that, yes, he's an addict and he relapsed, and she had a relationship with him before that was wonderful. And so it's acknowledging all of it to give us some freedom. Correct?
Yeah, because if she acknowledges the good stuff, she has to feel sad
Yes.
about what happened.
Yes.
I mean,
Brilliant connect.
Who the hell wants to feel sad?
Yes. Yes.
Don't sign me up for that.
Amen.
And also just the freedom to normalize some of the, another example that comes to mind is my mom had me when she was 16.
Yes.
I
Got
was
me choked
always
up.
told they did the best they can.
Oh, this is a good one.
When we're talking about forgiveness or family of origin work.
Yes.
So there was always a little bit of shame for me and guilt because yes, she did do the best she could, but there was also some really negative stuff, that
Yes.
and both that I never got, I always brought up some shame because I'm like, I'm still holding on to this stuff from 30 years because I never had
The space.
to verbalize the and both.
Yes.
Well, it denies your experience, too. I mean,
Yes.
Keeps
Just-
you stuck.
you can
It
do
keeps
the...
you stuck, people. Go
I know
ahead.
in situations where
Brilliant.
I do the best
Brilliant.
I can or someone else does the best they can doesn't mean that there aren't hurt feelings, there isn't lack of things that I need, my needs getting met.
Absolutely.
And if we don't acknowledge everything, we're
Right.
not living fully, we're not experiencing it fully.
Right. And like we were talking about, it keeps you stuck in this one perception of reality. Like, yes, I love my mother and father. I know they did the best they can. I actually know it in my bone of bones. And at times they did a really shitty job. Both are true. Both are true. All of it's true. And I think when we can acknowledge that, then we can work through the feelings. But if we're just feeling one way, like they did the best they could, and I'm going to shut down everything else, then we're not going to have the freedom in the relationship. We're not going to have the completion
I'm just
in the
having,
relationship.
and I'm just having this awareness that when my wife died almost 2 years ago,
Yep.
at first I was focused on all the negative things in our relationship. Yes, I missed her. And it wasn't until a year later that I was like, wow, I'm reaching a whole different level of grief where I'm missing all the fun we had, the fact that we had such a great friendship, past all, you get all the trauma moved out, and then all the good stuff comes up, and it's just more grief.
Yes.
But it took a while.
But you wanted to feel the joy too. That was the other thing you used to say. How can I feel such grief and such joy at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
We can be grieving and we can feel good. All of it.
Yeah, someone sent me a picture the other day, and it was a year ago. It was a month before she died, the picture was, all of us together. And I got sad feelings, but then I was also like, wow, she's smiling in that picture. How awesome that a
Yes.
month before she died, she had no idea she was going to die, and she was enjoying herself. I know.
Yeah,
Like,
this is the thing about people in recovery, and probably just human beings. It might be the human condition. When we're growing up in kind of some insanity, very often we want some sense of predictability
control.
and control. So one way to do that is a kid to start thinking either or my mother's this way, my father's that way, my brother's this way, I'm this way. And you start kind of, delegating.
Well, because you're dealing with those unpredictable alcoholics.
That's right.
Every day you're like, I don't know what's going to happen.
I don't know what's going to happen.
So I got to box up my life.
Yes. So the black and white either or thinking, that rigid thinking that a lot of folks have in programs, in a variety of programs, it doesn't give us the freedom inside. So what we're going to do is we're going to give, what would be some tools
I was going to ask first for Amanda, like, where are you at now with this?
Yes,
with your uncle?
excellent idea.
Like, how, or with your mom.
What helped you get to the
as
both
you
and?
did that work in the grief book?
Yes.
Like, what has that done for you?
Great idea.
Just the spaciousness to acknowledge the and both.
Yes.
When you're only locked into one narrative,
Yes.
you're stuck.
You're stuck.
Because you're not even acknowledging the complete total, and also
So you get
Yes.
closure.
you don't have closure, and
You're not feeling your feelings.
and you're not feeling your feelings.
And getting to the underlying grief, which we talk about here a lot, which a lot of times that's the thing we're resisting the most, is just the grief.
And there's a duality in almost every aspect of life.
I was going to say,
So-
has anyone had a relationship that
Yeah.
was just all good or all
there's
bad?
a duality to
Everything.
everything that needs to be acknowledged, or I'm not truly coming from an authentic place. And I'm not allowing
Absolutely.
others to come from a place of authenticity because I'm already trying to lock it into a particular narrative.
Yes.
I always
To make
talk
us
about
feel
my
safe.
I always
Yeah,
talk about my
yeah.
recovery in pre-recovery. I only could feel one thing at a time.
Yes.
I was either really excited and happy about something, or I was angry and pissed off. And then after, it's like, wow, I feel such joy. I'm having
Yes.
such a great day, but I'm also having some sadness. That
Yes.
to me is true recovery.
Absolutely true recovery. All right. And so the tool this week is we want you to know to have some, just to remember this. People around you have different perceptions of reality. And for us to be full human beings, we need to acknowledge all of our thoughts about something, all of our feelings about something, and to know that others have lots of feelings about something and lots of thoughts about
And
something.
I'm going to go back to, once again, and I say this a lot,
Yes.
remove the I shoulds or they shoulds.
Yes.
Because it gets you nowhere.
Gets
And,
you nowhere.
You know, we should be happy about this. We should be grateful our parents did the best they could. No, you don't have to should anything. Just feel how you actually feel and create the spaciousness,
Amen.
as Amanda said, to allow that to be. Don't judge it. Don't try to change it. Just allow it to happen.
Amen. We're leaving Crazy Town. Fasten your seatbelt.
We're out of here.